alpha Rizzler judge? Don't be a sigma beta. Chat, listen to what I'm about to yap about, or else you will achieve negative sigma aura. Brainrot. It's a common term among the teenage students of my generation. Brainrot refers to both individuals whose vocabularies largely consist of words such as sigma, beta, skibbidi, and Ohio, and the deteriorated and distracted mental state that occurs after hours of scrolling. Brainrots, both in mental deterioration and vocabulary lifestyle, are becoming quite widespread thanks to the use of smartphones and specific social media platforms. Chat. As a high school student who walks daily among the hordes of brain-rotted teenagers and witnesses firsthand the effects of social media on the teenage brain, I feel very passionately that something needs to be done to stop the widespread brain rot addiction that is occurring in schools nationwide. Trust me, if you met some of the freshmen at my school, you would feel the same way. On a more serious note, the brain rot I'll be referring today is not necessarily the overuse of popular slang, but rather the devastating cognitive, mental, social, and even physical effects that social media afflicts upon the teenage brain. Today, I'm going to explain what effects social media and other platforms have on a student's cognitive and mental health, how social media platforms are aware of the problems but still continue to perpetuate their addictive algorithms, and lastly, what we need to do about it. Let's get started. Smartphone and social media usage have become quite widespread facts of life for teenagers around the globe. Surveys suggest that over 93% of teenagers use social media, equaling roughly 37 million teenagers in the United States alone. 97% of teens report using their phones during school hours, with students picking up their phones an average of 13 times during the school day. The average teen spends 8.5 hours on their phones or screens per day. That's 2 hours more than they spend at school. It's evident that smartphones and social media are major residents in the lives of teens. So, what are the effects of these skibbity little black boxes that occupy so much of our lives? It has been scientifically proven that phones, and more specifically social media, do a couple of things to our brains. They negatively impact our ability to focus, decrease our academic performance, erode away our creativity, and even interfere with our sleep. There was a study done on undergraduate medical students that tracked their academic performance and social media use. The findings of the study were not surprising. There was a significantly higher proportion of social media use among academically low-performing students. Through another extensive study, it was concluded that there is a tendency to develop behavioral addiction to smartphone use, thereby experiencing a decline in academic performance. Social media is also devastating to our focus. Maybe you have noticed that it's getting harder and harder to sit down to a full movie or even a 10-minute long YouTube video. In 2004, the average time a person could focus on a screen without getting distracted was about 2.5 minutes. In 2012, it was down to 75 seconds. In 2023, that number had decreased to a staggering 45 seconds. That's less than 1/3 of what it was in 2004. We also see that excessive TikTok users are more susceptible to distractions and distracting thoughts, a harmful trait in both academic and professional environments. In addition, Gen Z reports feeling burnout and stress at work more than any other generation. Cell phone use also disrupts teens and tweens' sleep. 59% of young people report using their phones between midnight and 5 a.m. on school nights. Deteriorated sleep leads to deteriorated academic performance and mental well-being. What's more, social media is devastating to the mental health of teenagers. Social media has a reinforcing nature. Using it activates the brain's reward center by releasing dopamine, a feel-good chemical linked to pleasurable activities. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive and are associated with anxiety, depression, and even physical ailments. Social media feeds comparison and FOMO, leading to lower self-esteem. The National Institute of Health reports the risk of depression increased by 13% for each hour increase in social media use by adolescents. Even more concerning, since the introduction of social media to the market, suicide rates have skyrocketed. According to the CDC, the suicide rate for male teens increased 31% between 2007 and 2015, correlating with the rise of social media use. A 10-year longitudinal study at BYU discovered that teenage girls who spent 2 to 3 hours daily on social media at age 13 were at a higher risk for suicide as young adults. To sum it all up, it's evident that social media use is like a wrecking ball to the mental and academic health of students. Let's take a moment to examine the root of the issue, bringing me into my second point. Social media companies knowingly perpetuate addictive algorithms in order to hook and keep users on their platforms. Platforms such as TikTok and Instagram spend billions of dollars honing their algorithms. Algorithms designed to keep users scrolling for as long as possible. The longer a user spends on their platforms, the more money they make. Thus, the goal of product designers is to create addictive content that sucks users in, never to spit them back out. Recently, 13 states and Washington, D.C. sued TikTok on the grounds that the app is specifically designed to make young people addicted to it. They deployed a suite of manipulative features that exploited young people's psychological vulnerabilities. Kentucky authorities report that it takes less than 35 minutes to become addicted to TikTok. One unnamed TikTok executive made it very clear when he said, "I think we need to be cognizant of what TikTok might mean for other opportunities." And when I say other opportunities, I literally mean sleep and eating and moving around the room and looking at someone in the eyes. In 2021, leaked internal research that Facebook, which owns Instagram, had conducted on its own products concluded that Instagram was making body image worse for 1 in 3 teen girls. In one study, Facebook found that of teen users who felt unattractive, more than 40% reported that those feelings started because of the app. The people in those studies resoundingly blamed Instagram for increases in anxiety and depression, unprompted by researchers. We must also remember that social media is addictive. It targets the hippocampus with the exact same chemicals as nicotine and should be treated like a drug. As Senator Ed Markey put it at a hearing in 2021, quote, "Facebook is just like big tobacco, pushing a product that they know is harmful to the health of young people, pushing it to them early, all so Facebook can make money." Fellow concerned citizens, the executives of social media companies are not unaware of the effects their apps are designed to perpetuate. With the knowledge that we have, we cannot perpetuate the status quo. It is evident that something needs to be done to solve the cognitive and mental effects that social media is inflicting on teenagers, which brings me into my final point. What can be done about this increasingly relevant issue? Conflicting opinions about how we should solve these problems run rampant in our world today. Through extensive research, I've pinpointed what looks like an ideal solution. Ban TikTok entirely for American users of all ages. Raise the age limit of Instagram to 21, and ban the use of smartphones during school. Allow me to explain. On the grounds that TikTok, due to its data collection and battery of misinformation, posed a threat to our national security, banning the platform for users of all ages would likely pass through our judicial system. Instagram, on the other hand, due to its addictive nature and advertising schemes, ought to be legally treated as any other addictive substance, illegal until 21. And smartphones themselves ought to be banned during school hours, with exceptions for students with disabilities and other concerns. Social media and smartphones are like mold for the brains of youth. They are designed to be that way. We cannot allow them to keep rotting and eroding our brains. Through this solution, we would be preserving the cognition, attention, and mental well-being of students nationwide. We have the power to wage war against brain rot. With sufficient action, the new skibbidi Ohio Riz on the outside, crippling insecurity and depression on the inside, freshmen can be the last of their kind. Chat. If you take anything away from this speech, let it be. Think twice before you open TikTok, and help your kids and others around you Stay addiction-free from this new brain-rotting and future-eroding drug. Thank you.